Namaskar, dear devotees and friends. The Wednesday evening we will be studying the Panchama Veda, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. So let us begin with that mantra. Tabo kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriritam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam srimadatatam bhubi grinanti e bhurida janaha. Now we were discussing the Gospel from the page 752, the English the 752, and we will be reading from also the 756 and in Bengali 807. These are the pages. Now 752 we are reading, then Poltu has come to Sri Ramakrishna. Poltu, that young boy, and by seeing that Poltu, Sri Ramakrishna is so happy. Poltu is a pure heart because he has no connection with the worldly things. And he doesn't like any worldly things, any name, fame, physical comfort, nothing. He is a very pure, and God loved them. This is the devotee. So Poltu is arriving. Who is this? It is Poltu. The God is telling like, see how much love he shows. Not that he was a rich family boy, not that he was having some influence, not that he was going to get any benefit out of it. The pure heart. What is that pure heart? He was not having any attachment to the worldly things. By seeing this, by listening this, by hearing this, we can understand purity means the completely forgetting the worldly attachment and worldly attractions. That is purity. All other things are external practices. But this is purity. And how that is possible? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna goes to the root and he says ego. If you can eradicate, if you can remove the ego, the I sense, then everything is possible. Because when I have the I attached to this body and mind, and naturally that ego takes me, I want that, I don't want this. So this kama, krodha, all this, it comes. So this is the way we have to understand. To realize God, we have to purify our mind. And purification of the mind means no attraction, no feeling of attraction for the worldly things. Now we are surviving, it is necessary, of course it is. And for that what we need a home, we need clothing, we need money, we need food, we need company, we need everything. That is nothing wrong, but not attached to that. Without that I am going to suffer. No, that is nothing. Some people are appreciating, some people are clapping, and for that the people are doing so peculiar things. Just to be on the page of the newspaper, some people are doing very peculiar things. Why? I am going to be popular, people will know about me, my picture will be there. That much. They'll go and see the library, so many hundreds of years newspapers and all this are there lying over there. Who goes and sees that? Only a few contemporary people will see, discuss about you, and that is for that we'll go stoop down so much. So this is the way we have to understand, we have to judge, and we have to withdraw the mind. And then what will happen? The God will call you. And when he will see that devotee, he will be so happy. We read the story of Sudama and Sri Krishna. Sudama, the poor man, he was not having anything. And of course, in the different stories they will be making why Sudama, he was a little selfish, so the suffering begins. So somewhere from this type of stories, they like to tell those who are expounding these stories. Yes, for katha, they will be telling all this. When they go to the villages, to the people, they will perform the stories. The Sudama was a very poor person, but he has great love for God. And that is why, because of the love for God, God also used to love him. And when Sudama came, and forgetting about all other people who were rich, who were influential, God was so happy to see that poor man, because he is friend, because he is guileless, because he loves God. He doesn't bother about anything of the world. So this thing we have to keep in mind, those who like to realize God. Friends, before we will read this passage and go back to some of the qualities of a devotees, so which actually the God they like, those qualities. Now here, Purna, another young devotee, also arrived. This is Paltu, another is Purna. So those who are not very much familiar with the Indian names, they may be little confused naturally. So get confused. One is Paltu. When this is not a real name, maybe the nickname. So Paltu, they are talking, and then very lovingly they call Paltu. And another young man has come, another devotee. He is Purna, and we have those who are connected with the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the students of Sri Ramakrishna biography and life. They know this Purna. Sri Ramakrishna loved him very much. It was his great difficulty that Sri Ramakrishna had managed to have him come. His relatives strongly objected to his visiting the master. Purna was a student of the 5th grade of the school where Aim taught. In those days, the children used to get admission at the sixth class, suppose 7 years. So they will be in the grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, like that. He's a very young boy, but this 5th grade is a little senior, maybe we can understand the 12, 13, 14 years young boy. The boy prostrated himself before Sri Ramakrishna. The master seated him by his side and was talking to him in low voice. Aim alone was sitting near them, so Aim could hear that. The other devotees were talking about the various things. Girish, sitting on the other side of the room, was reading the life of Keshav. So they were having that. Now he is asking, do you dream? The master is asking Purna. Do you dream? Do you dream of a flame, a lighted torch, a married woman, a cremation ground? It is good to dream of these things. I am not an expert in explaining the dreams, but Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he knew all this. We all usually know when we are thinking about something, then the dream comes. So that formulates and then come in the dream. When a person is thinking about the divine life, he is dreaming like this. So there is perhaps some meaning of it, because Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna mentioning like this, and he is saying, the Purna, I dreamt of you. Sri Ramakrishna was asking, do you see the lighted torch and this light and this thing, that thing? But Purna said, I dreamt of you. You were seated and were telling me something. Where? Some instructions? To tell me some of it. Then master, no, not where, it is what? Some instructions, tell me some of it. So the master, he was so happy that the devotee saw him in a dream. Again, we dream those things which we love to see, and we always think about that. So those things come in our mind. So obviously, when the dream means, Ramakrishna's dream means, Purna was constantly meditating, thinking, pondering over Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. So he saw him in a dream. And Sri Ramakrishna, the God himself. So when the Purna was dreaming about the God, and he came to that, the God in human form, the Sri Ramakrishna, the God was so happy, and he is asking what? Some instructions? Tell me some of it. The Purna, I don't remember now, Master. Never mind, but it is very good. You will make progress. You feel attracted to me, don't you? Who is Sri Ramakrishna? Not having any ego at all. The moment you don't have the ego, any attachment, he could not see even these. He was not attached with the body mind also. Otherwise, how to explain who can be God? So look at this. Some people always think about the miraculous thing. Something miraculous happened. This is the purest of the pure. The manifestation of the purest of the pure, that is love. And that love for each and every one. And in that human form, when we see that, that is the greatest manifestation of the God. The God is love. And that's why he is pure. And that love is completely unselfish. When he is loving someone, he is not thinking of getting any benefit out of that. That is unselfish love. So that is why the Sri Ramakrishna is mentioned. Do you feel attracted to me? That is very important. Friends, I will just quote from some of the ideas that we get from the Bhagavad Gita. This Bhagavad Gita is the 12th chapter. From 13 sloka, the Lord Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna, he goes on telling, he who hates no creature, adveshta. The dvesha means hatred. Why hatred? Because I don't love. So love and hatred goes hand in hand. They're together always. So if I don't love, I hate. So that is the thing. So he says there is no hatred. Why? There is no jealousy. There is no craving. There is no expectation. So that's why it is. There's sometimes some people of the same profession, they become jealous of each other. Even the two brothers also become jealous. If the parents are loving some son, the one and the other son feel jealous. Why? I am not getting the love from my parents. So we have to understand this is so natural, Prakriti. And you have to go beyond those Prakritis, those nature and lower nature. So I don't hate anyone. That means you are taking you above all those things. And you are fighting against the nature. Nature is provoking you to behave all those. And that is called spirituality. That is called sadhana. When you talk about the sadhana, when you talk about the spiritual practices, what is that practice? What do we do? We do these, constantly telling ourselves that you should not hate, you should not feel jealous, you should try to love. And those wonderful good qualities slowly transform a human being to God. And God is L-O-V-E. And there is no selfishness. So here it says, he who hates no creature, friendly and compassionate towards all. Maybe other people are jealous of him, maybe other people are criticizing him. It doesn't matter. I don't hate anyone. I don't criticize anyone. I am friendly with everyone. Why? I see the manifestation of God in everything. So what are the practices a person should do to become a devotee? Hundreds and thousands and millions of people, they are really groping in the dark to know what is true religion. They're visiting temples, visiting churches, they're visiting mosques, and they're listening to the so-called holy people, reading scriptures. But even then the idea is not clear, and Lord Sri Krishna is so very clear in the Bhagavad Gita. In the 16th chapter also, he has given the list of the very good qualities. 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, first 3 verses. And here in the 12th chapter, from 13 to 19, all those qualities. And even I have shortlisted only 15 qualities. What are those? He who hates no creature. Second, friendly and compassionate towards all. Third, free from the feeling of I and mine. This is I and mine. Because of this feeling, everything comes. Now the question is, who are in the household, what they will do if I don't say I and mine? Of course you can do. Minimize that. And slowly you have to understand, if I have to realize God, if I have to get the blessings of God, if I have to get the attraction, the God will be attracted to the devotee, then I have to give up all those I and mine. And that's become, when mentally you can give up, that you become sannyasi. Gyasa nitya sannyasi yo na dveshti na kangshati. In Bhagavad Gita again. Then know that it is always a sannyasi. What is a sannyasa? Sometimes people, they love to wear like the Geruva dress and like to depict themselves as a sannyasi. It is not the dress. It is not the place. It is not the way you are talking. It is the thought that you are thinking. It is the manner, how you are living. And you should be clear to yourself. You need not to go and broadcast to the world that I am a sannyasi, I am a holy person, I am a renouncer. It is not necessary. Only inside is from the feeling of I and mine. No feeling of that. I was doing this because the opportunity came to do, I did. When that is over, my task is done, okay, no problem. Who else will do, let them do. Whether good or bad, I don't care. World goes in this way. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. What they are doing, let them do. Before me the world came, the world was there. After me the world will be there. So why should I break my head thinking what is going to happen to this world, and when I am not there, how they will survive? No. So I and mine should not be there. Even-minded in pain and pleasure. When some people, they are praising and some people, they are criticizing. And the physical pain, of course it is physical reaction will be there. So sometimes some people think the monk should not have any physical pain. Wrong. Physical, that is completely in the nature and it has its own action-reaction thing. No one can help anyway. Even the great yogi like Totapuri ji, he was a great Vedantin. But when the stomach pain was, he was so upset, he wanted to go and drown himself in the water, Ganges water. Stomach pain, physical pain. But mentally he was free. There's some people, they used to go to meet the then president of the Ramakrishna order, one of the direct disciples of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Ishatmananda ji, a very famous soul. And Shivananda ji, when they will be, all the monks, they will go in the morning, and some will ask, Swamiji, how are you now, today, morning? He will say, my body is suffering, but I am all right. His answer was unique. Body, naturally, I cannot control that. Body will suffer. Body is the combination of the nature. So obviously, the 5 different things combined together is the body. But inside that, that consciousness, I have detached myself from the body. So I am fine. So when it says, even-minded in pain and pleasure, it is about that mind. Free from egotism. The ego means when we get attached to this body and mind. We think this is me. But when we analyze, we find the body is nothing but some matter which is constantly changing. Mind is also matter, but subtle, but it is also changing. I cannot be that. How can I be that? So obviously, that egotism is unnecessarily superimposing, falsely, wrongly, that I am this body and mind. And from here begins the bondage. Because of these we suffer. Because of these everything happens in the world. Because of these again and again we are taking birth. Friends, this is called spirituality. The clear understanding of these things. That this is the matter. So this matter are constantly changing. It is the combination of 5 different things. Panchabhuta, they say in Sanskrit. Panchabhuta, 5 different matters combined together. Then 3 guna, sattva, raja, tama, 3 different type of qualities again. So all this mixture, but they're all different. So naturally, when they came and they become one, and then one day time will come when they all will be separated, it will break. But I am not that. I am eternal. I am continuous. I am always. So that egotism, that if you can give up, then ever content. Is always happy, ever content. How it is possible? Because he knows I am not the changes. When some appreciation is coming, it is okay. When some criticism is coming, that's also okay. People appreciated me. So many people are there, they like me so much. I am so happy. And some people, they don't like me. That's okay. I am not suffering. So that contented mentality, what is a spiritual life? Monks and devotees, the householders, the holy people and unholy people, what is all this? Just thoughts. Just thoughts. So when we are thinking pure way, properly, unselfish way, detached from the worldly things, you are pure. For that you need not to grow the beard. For that you need not to wear some special thing. Nothing like that. It is only the mental attitude. So contented, steady in contemplation. Contemplation means meditation, contemplation, concentration. That means you can control your mind. You can control your senses. You can withdraw the mind from the sense objects. You can detach yourself from the thoughts. And that is not the easy thing. You have to have the practice. Constantly you have to practice yourself. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am that supreme Shiva. I am Shivoham, Shivoham. Many people will be singing with a very devotionally, very emotionally. I am the Shiva, Shiva. And when you say like that, particularly if you are Hindu, the word Shiva, the Krishna, the Sri Rama, and a different thought comes. I am detached from the world. I am that pure soul. So this is the way we have to think. The contemplation, steady in contemplation. When he is thinking, he is steady. All around different sounds are going on, nothing can disturb him. So that's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he gave the example of a person who was fishing. A procession that was going, there's so much of music, dances, people they're shouting and they're enjoying. Nothing he heard. He was only looking at that, how to catch that fish, because his attention was there. They're giving the example of that. The fishing rod he was holding and then was looking at it, a full concentration on that. That is called contemplation. And when his mind is in that way, when he goes to God, he sees God, the light inside, he forgets his own existence. That contemplation. Self-control automatically. Unless you are controlling the self. What is that self? Here the self means the mind. The self means Atman. But here the self means the mind, control of the mind. How you can control the mind? Mind means different thoughts. And so many different thoughts will go on arising. When you are sitting for meditation, immediately you will remember, oh, these are the tasks I have to finish today, and I have to talk to that person, this person I should contact, these are the things that are going to come today. So all those lists will come, because from your store, all that will flow to disturb you. Because your mind is attached to those things and it is active and you are very happy with that. But when you can slowly withdraw the mind, that is practice. You see it and then every time, and if you practice for 3 months continuously, then it becomes easy for you. And mind also understands, oh, this man is not going to listen to me, he is a very stubborn type of fellow, he won't be disturbed. So slowly, mind will be tamed. It's like taming a wild horse. It needs a lot of patience. The wild horse, so powerful, it wants to break. And even then the trainer will go on giving the training slowly, it will come to and control. The mind is just like that. Tremendous powerful. But you have to control through the practice. And through understanding what are the things that minds are getting disturbed with. So these are the temptations, these are the things the mind is going and getting attached to that, and all those thoughts are coming and disturbing my mind, so I have to withdraw that. I will do the work, but at the time of contemplation, no connection with those work. Let the world go to hell. I am not bothered. That way they will see it. I am concerned for the world. I am working for the world. I am thinking for the world. But when I am withdrawing the mind like the Lord Shiva, he sits and then he forgets the whole world. Where he goes? To the consciousness. Majority of us, we don't have that experience of that consciousness, so we don't understand that. Our consciousness means mind. The mind, when is thinking, oh, this is the consciousness, this is also a matter, but subtle matter. Shukshma is subtle, but it is a matter. It's not consciousness. The consciousness is completely different. It is a subjective thing. Almost all the Advaitic talks is based on this consciousness. The self-control, having firm conviction. That's also another quality. Either I am the Atman from the point of view of the Jnani. Those who are following the path of knowledge, they say, I am that consciousness. And others, that same consciousness, they give the name and form because it is easy for them to concentrate, and they say, I am sure that God is there. God is listening my prayer. God can be seen. I can talk to God. Firm conviction. And some of the times when your prayer has been answered, a conviction becomes very strong. Yes, those times the God saved me when I was a little baby, completely depending on the mercy of others. I never knew how to protect myself. But the God gave the love and affection in the hearts of the people. The mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, all these people, even unknown people, oh, little child, it's crying, it is suffering, they will come and pick the child and help. Where from that affection came? God gave them. If the God is helping me in that way when I was completely depending on others' help, protection, now why should I try myself? I'll be always like the depending on God. That is the conviction. So having firm conviction. Friends, we are talking whom God loves. And these are the qualities. Depending on God. Conviction that God is there. For those who are dualistic. The dualistic also going to the same goal. But they say Ishvara, they say Bhagavan. Why? It helps them to understand. And how they think a name and a form. They give the name. And they also imagine the form. And they will say, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma Dhari, this is the Vishnu. We thought in that way. The rishis saw God in that way. So it is coming down. Whether he is only having those 4 hands, we don't know. It becomes easy for us. Then this is my God and my Guru. I love, I respect them. No problem. So by concentrating on them, I slowly go beyond that and see the true consciousness, whom I was calling as God and whom I was calling as me, a devotee, and the process that I was following, that I should go to God, everything become one. That's called Triputi Veda. Jnata, Jnana, Jnana. The object and the subject and the process of the knowing all become one. So that is the ultimate. Then there is no God. Then the Radha, in the Bhagavad also it says, the Radha started feeling, I am the Krishna. In the life of Ma Sharadamani Devi, those who know, and she sometimes used to feel that I am Sri Ramakrishna. So that is the way the devotee become God himself. In the life of Sri Ramakrishna, we have seen that, openly demonstrated. So many people, they observe that. The Kali and Sri Ramakrishna are the same. There's a great incident that proves this. The Kali is the power of God, and God is that consciousness. The same consciousness, when working, is the Kali. The Sri Ramakrishna was the worshipper of Kali. There's nothing separate, different. Some people, ignorant people, not much of idea about the spiritual life, they think God is Kali separate and the worshippers is, of course, naturally. But when that become one, Sri Ramakrishna proved in this life. The one day he was sitting in one of that time from Dakshineshwar, he came to Calcutta, and for treatment he was staying in one house, and it was Kali Puja day. Sri Ramakrishna wanted to have the Kali Puja. He was sick, but still devotees, they organized that puja. All these things, the flower, the sweets, and different type of leaves, all those things, ingredients are necessary to do the worship, all were there. But no images, what will happen? Then the Girish Ghosh came and he told, hey, what you are doing? Why you are waiting? That particular moment is passing when you have to offer to that goddess Kali. But there is no image. And Sri Ramakrishna is in meditation, is in deep samadhi. So who will give us the instruction what to do? Girish Ghosh, who was having that wonderful faith. Then he said, oh my God, can't you see this is Kali, sitting in the form of Sri Ramakrishna. He took all the flowers in his hand, Jai Ma Kali, the glory to Goddess Kali. Glory to Goddess Kali. He offered that. And Sri Ramakrishna went into deep samadhi. It is not the form, it is the conception, it is the idea, it is the knowledge. Friends, this is religion. The religion is realization. Swami Vivekananda said, religion is realization. So this, he said, that conviction, that having firm convictions, devoted to supreme ideal. What is that? I am that Brahman. I am the pure consciousness. By mistake only I am thinking I am a man, I am a woman, I am old, I am young, I am rich, I am poor. And in different way I am thinking by mistake. But in reality, I am the pure consciousness. That is called Vedanta Anubhuti, Vedanta Vichara. That is the ideal. I have to reach to that goal. When I can say like the Lord Jesus, I and my Father in heaven are one. Why should I have to go and cry that I am a sinner, sinner, sinner? Who said this? Who said, let him do like that, but I am not a sinner. I made different mistakes. And yeah, I did some mistake. I committed some bad things. I'm sorry, I was not knowing. I was not hurting them. I was hurting, in fact, myself by doing those things. I'm sorry now. And from now onwards, I am trying to reach to my Father, who is full of love, who is full of unselfishness, who is not differentiating anything, who has manifested in different names and forms, in different times, in different situations, in different countries. So when I think in that way, then like the Lord Jesus, you can say, I and my Father in heaven are one. Or like the rishis of the old, the Vedantic rishi will say, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that pure consciousness. And which is that I? Not this body, but the consciousness which is within me and the consciousness that is outside. It is all same. So that is called the devoted to the supreme ideal. And we should not bring down the ideal. If I can't reach to that, I should say I tried my best, but I couldn't reach over there. That's okay, but someday I will reach over there. But just to satisfy myself and sometimes some people, they self-hypnotized. They think, oh, they are very, and they say, I am that, whatever I am telling, that is true, and that creates another problem. They stop over there. And those who are following him or her, they also stop over there. And that in the Vedanta they say, in the Upanishad it says, Andha naiva niyamana yatanda. Andha is a blind one, leading another blind. And both of them, what they will go? They will fall in the ditch because they don't know where they are going. Both of them are blind. So if you take a blind person to lead you, you will reach nowhere. So of course you have to understand this. Never agitate or afflict anyone. Agitate or afflict anyone. Now sometimes we are also human being, but the people consider the Swami means he is not having jokes, he is never fun and all that. So sometimes they misunderstand. When Swami Vivekananda was in New York, he used to give the talk. Then one lady used to come from the other part of the New York. She used to complete her household duties, responsibilities, and take a tram and come to the east, and then she will serve the Swami the food. She'll cook food for Swami, clean the place, arrange for the meeting, take the notes of the lecture that the Swami is to give, and then arrange those lectures also, collecting the fund. In those days, they used to stand before the door. When the people are going out, they used to put some money into that hat, the hat collections, for the maintenance, of course. So all these she used to do all alone. But Swami Vivekananda will be constantly rebuking her. The one day she told Swami, what is it? I do everything for you, and you are all the time scolding me. You are giving so much hard time for me. Why? Then Swami didn't give the answer. He was going back, as the description is there in the book of Mary Louise Berg. Long ago I read. So there, that lady was, no, today you must give me the answer. Why you behave like that to me, who alone is doing so much for you? So other people, they are coming, they're just listening to you and then leaving. You don't say anything to them. Then ultimately Swami Vivekananda turned to that lady and said, because I like to see you perfect. I like to see you perfect. So that is the idea. When the Lord, they love me and give different type of problems. They put us in different situations. so that we can go and cry to God, cry to Lord. So our faith should be more firm. When there are challenges, faith should be more firm. God is there. He wants to see me whether I can really do it or not. But He is just at my back. When I won't be, He will surely pick me up and give me all this help. What is necessary? That conviction should be there. God is putting me into trouble doesn't mean that God is not liking me. If you read that poem of Swami Vivekananda, he wrote in English, The Cup, and it has been translated into Bengali by a famous Bengali poet. Beautifully, that cup, Swami Vivekananda is writing, that I have put you into that road which every step will give you trouble. But don't stop. Don't lose heart. Don't give up. Continue your journey to come to me, because I like to see you successful. And when every step, when you are suffering and you are crying to God, your mind is becoming pure. All your attachment, all your associations will go away. Only like a little baby, you will be putting your both hands up and cry, lift me, my mother, on your lap. I can't walk. And the mother will bend and lift you. So that is the way we have to never agitate or afflict anyone. Other people, they are giving me trouble? No, not at all. So I was just having, what I remembered, the one lady, she is very active, very good organizer. And then I was just making some jokes with her. Hey, why you have not written this? Why you have not done this? And she thought that I am crossed with her. Then she told, why you are giving me hard times? Then I smiled. I didn't reply. I remembered Swamiji's that thing. I wanted just to make her perfect. So that is the thing. Nothing, no other. So just to see that you are perfect. So when I do this in this way. So this is the way we have to understand. That sometimes the seniors, sometimes the Swamis, they scold us, rebuke us, and we think, oh, he is angry with me. No, not at all. It's for our good he is doing. We have to understand that. And never agitate and never afflict. There's sometimes some problem will come, he will just turn from there. Agitation will go and think it's a God's will. Okay, let it go. We tried to make it as perfect as possible. Okay, it is not happening, no problem. That is, and free from dependence. Why? If I am depending on some human being, the God will say, okay, then depend on him, no problem. When you call me, then only I will come. As Ma Sharadamani Devi, she promised, when you have no one around, my child, and you feel that you are completely helpless, just turn to me and call me as mother. And know it for sure, I am there to help you. Like your own mother. Not that I am your guru's wife, so I am mother. No, I am your real original mother. Only have that faith and call me with that faith. Mother, I want your help because there is no one in this world to look at me. Please do what is good for me. Help will come. So that is, he is telling, and then God loves those people. No dependence. One of the direct disciples of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was very fond of taking tea. He was a rich man's son, so naturally, in those days, in Bengal, in India, the tea, coffee, it was not that famous. But the rich people, they used to have those. Being the son of a rich man, he developed that habit of taking tea. And that's called very famous Khoka Maharaj, as a child Swami, they used to call him. Swami Subodhananda ji, afterwards sannyas name, Swami Subodhananda. He was practicing austerity in some remote part, not getting food properly, not getting the tea again. Who will serve tea there? Then one day he became angry with Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. his guru, his ideal, his Ishta Devata. So he was praying and complaining, what is it? That you can't even organize a cup of tea for me? You are a God, you are supreme God, so powerful God, you can do anything. But at least a cup of tea in the morning, I like that so much. Can't you give that? When he was thinking and praying like that, Sri Ramakrishna appeared before him. And he said, hey, you want rich people who will serve you, give you tea, give you food? I can send many rich people to you, but I will go away. I won't be here. Choose. You want those people, the rich people, they'll be appreciating you, helping you, serving you, or me. Immediately he jumped up from his seat and said, oh Lord, I'm a fool. Please forgive me. I want you only. So that is the faith. That is the dependence on God, not depending on anyone. But the extreme thing will happen. I will die. That's all. I am going to die anyway. But I am not going to depend on any human being or anyone. When a monk is depending on the rich people, the kings, he loses everything. So that is why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is very strong term he used. If a monk is becoming the fan of a rich man because he will give him something, this thing, that thing, the worst thing is that. Don't depend on those. So that only dependence is God. In Hindi, there's a beautiful song is there, Data Ek Ram. The Ram, the God, the Supreme, He is the only giver, to whom you are going for begging. And the story Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, he said that fakir, a holy person in the Muslim tradition, the Sufi tradition, he went to the king Akbar Batsa. This is the emperor Akbar, and to beg something. But when he entered, he saw the Akbar is praying to God, oh, give me more strength, give me more money, give me this, give me that. Then the fakir, the holy man, got up and he was leaving. Completing his prayer, that the emperor, he got up and said, hey, why you are going away? You came here to ask me for something. Then he said, I don't beg from a beggar. Why should I? You are also a beggar, I found. You are begging to God for all those. I will also beg from God. Why from you? I don't beg from a beggar. So this is no dependence. To become a devotee, friends, to become a devotee, these are the qualities. I am a whole devotee. Some people, they say, think of it. Are you? So are you truly devotee? So these are the qualities we have to develop. Then only Sri Ramakrishna will look at us and say, hey, who is this? Paltu. Look at it. Who is coming? Paltu. The God is so happy seeing the devotee. The Purna, the very pure-hearted, that young boy, God is so happy, asking him to sit by his side and whispering, are you all right? Can you come? Can you think about me? Do you love me? Like this. And who can be? These are the qualities. Bhagavan Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he listed all this in the 12th chapter. And pure, prompt, unconcerned. Look at it. Pure. He is not attached, so pure. Prompt, but performing the duty very perfectly. And then thirdly, unconcerned. Whether the people are praising for that or not, it doesn't matter. It's not. It doesn't matter anything. Because he has completed that for the happiness of, blessings of God, not for anyone. So the pure. Pure means unattached to those worldly things that he is performing. He is trying to construct a temple. He will go to see that plot of land. He will go to the houses and collect the fund. Then he will construct. For the construction, he needs so many help. He is so busy with doing that, but totally unattached. And when that house of God is there, and what he did, and he'll be prompt. You have to do this, you must be perfect. There should not be any mistake. And when everything is done, then he withdraws himself unconcerned. Then 14th, untroubled and renounce everything. Untroubled and renounce everything. There was a Swami, I know him, I met him once only. So he thought that he should work for the poor people who were living by the side of the sea. In West Bengal, that's called Sundarban. Sundar means beauty. Ban means the forest. It's truly a beautiful forest. It's sharing the Bangladesh and India. And naturally, very dangerous place because the tigers are there. And crocodiles are also there in the river. Very difficult life over there. So he thought, the Swami thought, oh, these poor people, there is no one to help them. Let me go and try. See, he went over there. He was in Ramakrishna mission. Then he asked the authority, can you please give me the permission to go and start that work over there? In an organization, some rules are there. You cannot, as an individual monk, you should not choose. Whatever the authority is asking you, you should do that. If we give that opportunity to every individual, so you can imagine the commotion and all the chaos will be in the organization. Organization means you have to follow the rules, whether you like it or not. They said, no, wherever we send you, you should go and work over there. And what is that work? Only purifying my own mind by trying to help the living gods and goddesses. Do you think only those people that you should do? No, I was connected with those people. I cannot forget them. Please give me the permission. So they allowed him to go, and he left the order all alone, developed the huge ashrama with the help of different people, all servicing people. And then afterwards, when everything was done, the young Swamis came, joined, and they took up the responsibilities. He went to an island. I don't know, I think the Swami has passed away. He went to an island, and there he constructed a cottage. I have not seen, I heard. And you have to take a boat to reach over there. Nobody could go, all alone. Only some people will go and give them the food and water, drinking water. He is all alone. Last few years, I think 10 to 12 years, he was completely dedicated to God. So pure, prompt and unconcerned, untroubled, and renounce everything. That are the qualities of a true devotee. Not having place to call his own, agitate. Not having place to call his own. That is the beauty. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Bhagavan, God himself, and he who once said, if I knew this world permanent, then I would have covered the whole birthplace of mine, Kamarpukur, with gold. The Kamarpukur is that place where he was born as a village, still there, a little away from the Calcutta. He told, I could have covered that with gold, but I know this is temporary, nothing is there. And Lord Jesus, now if you go and see the wealth of that, different churches, and the dresses, the beauty of those who are claiming that they are following the Jesus. And what was Jesus? A little cloth was there on his body, that much. And he himself said, the Son of God has no place to lay his head. The fox has a hole, a bird has the nest, but the man of God had no place to lay his head. Agitate. Not that the Jesus couldn't do, he could. But he never wanted. So who is a devotee? All renouncer. What is that renouncement? Ego. And ego can go when I am sure that there is God. Friends, Sri Ramakrishna is showing his love. Sri Ramakrishna is the God himself. He is showing love means this Paltu and this Purna, they must be having all the qualities that I just read from the Bhagavad Gita. A few minutes later, Sri Ramakrishna said to the boy, "Won't you come there?" He meant Dakshineshwar. "I can't promise," answered the boy. The master, "Why? Don't one of your relatives live there?" The Purno, "Yes, sir, but it won't be very convenient for me to go." This is the conversation. Then the Master Mahasaya, he is giving us the description of that particular, what the people were doing. Girish was reading a life of Keshav written by Trailokya of the Brahma Samaj. Trailokya was a very good singer. Trailokya composed songs. Then he was a member of the Brahma Samaj. He wrote a book on Keshav Chandra Sen, and Girish was reading that. In it, Trailokya said that at first Sri Ramakrishna had been very much opposed to the world, but that after meeting Keshav, he had changed his mind and had come to believe that one could lead a spiritual life in the world as well. Several devotees had told the master about this. They wanted to discuss it with Trailokya. Those passages in the book had been read to the master. Noticing the book in Girish's hand, Sri Ramakrishna said to Girish, Im, Ram and other devotees, "Those people are busy with the world. That is why they set such high value on worldly life. They are drowned in lust and gold. One doesn't talk that way after realizing God. After enjoying the divine bliss, one looks on the world as crow droppings. At the very outset, I utterly renounced everything. Not only did I renounce the company of the worldly people, but now and then the company of the devotees as well. I noticed that the devotees were dropping dead one by one, and that made my heart writhe with pain. But now I keep one or two of them with me." Girish left for home saying you'd come back. The Trailokya, that man who wrote, so they had a misconception. Trailokya was very close to Sri Ramakrishna, but he misunderstood. And sometimes some people, they are educated, but at the same time they don't understand the subtlety of the spirituality. So they write and comment in this way. The Trailokya said in that, the master, you sang that day about the blissful mother. See, Sri Ramakrishna didn't criticize or rebuke or ask Trailokya to rectify. No, that doesn't matter at all. Trailokya wrote Sri Ramakrishna in the beginning was thinking that people living in the world won't be able to realize God. He changed that idea after coming in contact with Keshav Chandra Sen. Sri Ramakrishna said, "What is it? What is this world? This world is nothing but Maya." He was a Vedantin. He knew it very well. The world is constantly changing. So obviously he never supported that, but he didn't say anything. Trailokya wrote, let it go. But he said, why he wrote like that? Because Trailokya thought and loved this world so much. And then when Trailokya came, he asked him to sing. Trailokya sang one after another different songs. Sri Ramakrishna was very happy. And then ultimately he said, if a man enjoys the bliss of God, he doesn't enjoy the world. Friends, we should stop over here, because these are the two things are there. the God and this world. The world also came from the God. Every religion, every philosophy they say, and they explain it in different way. But this is not God. God is completely different. So we are getting little joy, little happiness, little satisfaction because of our ego in this world, and we think, oh, this is great. But think of the God himself, who is the embodiment of joy, the bliss, the happiness, the eternity. So Sri Ramakrishna said, those who have already realized God, will they like the world? They won't. Thank you, friends. We will stop over here and we will continue from here. Okay.
Devashish is asking, doing any work without expectation, following this process, can we detach ourselves from worldly things?
So Devashish, actually this is a practice, just thinking that we are detaching is very difficult though. So from the beginning itself, you have to practice. Whatever the responsibility has come before me, let me complete it, and then let me say it is okay. I have tried my best and I offer it to God. Every time you will notice, after doing something, and then we conclude, Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. That means we give it at the feet of the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. So if we truly do that, then we are free. The same way, whatever the work you are doing, in the beginning of the work, if you pray to God, God, this responsibility has come before me, and as a householder I must do it. Please see that I don't get attached to it. Please see that I become completely successful in this. And please see that I can give it up immediately after that. I don't get attached to this. So this way if you pray, of course you will be successful. Thank you, friends. Let us chant this mantra and we conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram paramishamidyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.